work with a 90-10% supermajority. So if there's less than 10% disagreement, and no blocks, we are considered to be in consensus. We have a couple mechanisms within our consensus model that deal with certain issues. A block is one of them. And the name of this mechanism is a three-block process. So just to reiterate, a block is when you fundamentally disagree with the proposal so much that you are willing to leave the movement. This is such a serious issue that we have a time-consuming and predetermined process for dealing with the situation. It works like this. If you fundamentally disagree and make a block, the moderator will call upon you to explain your block. The moderator will then open the General Assembly to discussion and then retest for consensus. If the person still continues to block, the General Assembly breaks out into breakout groups. Breakout groups are smaller discussion groups with no determined size to talk about the issue. Less than 10 people is nice. The moderator would then reassemble the General Assembly and test for consensus. And if their block still exists, the person's block is disregarded and we're considered to be in consensus. The blocker is still invited to stay in the movement, and if they want to champion their cause, we encourage them to make a working group to bring this back to the General Assembly. So that's our process really quickly. Can you please respect the stacker?
Well, they have a microphone, but they're doing the repetitive speaking thing anyway, so strange way to present the meeting to people that are dying to see Suzuki. Sort of like a rock concert where everybody comes to see the celebrity and then they'll leave and forget about it.
I want to do a strong poll, which means we see how we feel, although it's not binding. You want the electric mic only. How do we feel about the idea of people with the electric mic only using the electric mic? All in favor?
No more repetitive speaking. Put up your hands, quick.
Using the electric mic. Alright, so that pretty much deals with the consensus model as it stands. So that's a block. Alright, would you like to address your block? I have an issue. And I'm not the only one.
Hi.
All right, so we're turning up the volume on the electric mic.
Okay.
It's probably just too loud.
Can everyone in the back hear me right now? No!
No, turn it up.
It needs to be louder in the back. Okay, can you hear me now? In the back? Is that better? Are you okay? They're saying more, a little bit more. Can you hear me now? Is that better in the back? It's so, a little bit so. Yay! Okay. Thank you, guys. So we heard the gentleman's block there, and I would just like to retest for consensus. All those in favor of just the electronic mic, can you twiddle your fingers for me? All those opposed? Any blocks? Okay, given that the 90-10 model that Richard so kindly explained before, we have consensus. We will be proceeding with the electronic mic. Can I ask somebody to come up from the crowd, please, to read the basis of unity?
I'm all right, thanks, though.
Mic check. I'm sure that most of us are here to hear David Suzuki speak. So there's a proposal that has just been made to me that we stay the General Assembly and allow David Suzuki to speak. All in favor of this? Anybody opposed? Any blocks? All right, David Suzuki. Oh, sorry, hold on, there's a block. Are you willing to leave the movement over this point? All right, would you like to speak to your block, please? Mic check. My understanding was that a General Assembly included everyone's voice equally. I have a problem with allowing someone who's considered a celebrity to have preferential treatment at a General Assembly.
Yes!
I don't have a problem with David Suzuki participating at the General Assembly or speaking at the General Assembly after. Can I, as a moderator, would you be willing to stand aside in the interest of the fact that everybody would like to hear David Suzuki speak?
Not everybody, brother!
And that we address this at a later GA.
David Suzuki has taken money from corporations for many years. He owns a lot of things we do not.
Conflict of schedule, like we had two things booked at the same time.
You banned the Green Party from speaking today.
Having David Suzuki speak at our General Assembly at all. Yeah. What we're doing is asking if the GA can be stayed until a later time, maybe in 45 minutes.
This is going all to the celebrity fascination with David Suzuki now. He is more important than most of the protesters here now, it seems, and obviously more important than a Green Party member speaking, who are the only people to block the war on Libya.
All right, with that knowledge in place, go. Mic check. What time is the General Assembly scheduled for today? The answer to that is 1 p.m. So it's technically in process, but we want to stay it. So I would like to retest the crowd for consensus on this. So can I All right, so I'm sort of stepping in here as a moderator. I want to retest for consensus. All in favor of having David Suzuki speak right now? Everybody opposed? Does anybody block? We have point of process. All right. If you want to speak to your point of process, please speak to your point of process. Sorry, she does first. Mic check. Is your right as a moderator?
Okay.
Is to oversway when people speak when they put their signs up appropriately. No, it is not. You are correct. But in the interest of David Suzuki's valuable time, I would, and the fact that almost everybody would like to speak to David Suzuki, or hear David Suzuki speak, I wanted to retest for consensus, and if you would like me to step down as moderator, I will. I want to know, to do this, at a General Assembly, it was not, it was a scheduling conflict, just to clarify. So can we, mic check. I'd like to make a proposal to let David Suzuki speak. All right, so the proposal is to allow David Suzuki to speak and then proposal in the General Assembly, allow David Suzuki to speak and then re-adjourn the General Assembly. All in favor? Anybody opposed? Do we have any blocks? David Suzuki can speak.
Well, they've ignored the blocks and the protests that were put up, and they haven't let the protest speak. So,
hi everybody.
Obviously a bit manipulated here.
Not a DA. We are now having an awesome guest speaker that we all love very much. Since I was a child, been watching him on TV, influencing my life, influencing all of yours, I'm sure. So I just want to introduce our beloved Canadian foremost environmental academic and activist and wise elder, David Suzuki. Thank you.
Afraid for a minute there I was going to get voted off the island. But I want to say right at the beginning that I'm speaking to you as a private citizen. I don't represent or speak on behalf of any organization or group.
Or corporation, eh, Dave?
I'd also like to begin by acknowledging that we are gathered here on Coast Salish ground. I want to thank the organizers of today's program for inviting me to share a few ideas with you. I believe the Occupy movement could be absolutely historic, but we won't know for years from now. I believe what it is a demand for open dialogue, for conversation in which disparate voices, we've already heard some of them, will be heard. And I am here as much to listen and learn as I am to speak. But I'm especially grateful then for being given this time at the beginning to present my ideas first. Let me be transparent with my motives, as I hope you asked all speakers to be. I have an agenda. I am an elder, and I'm long past the seduction of fame or money or power. I speak to you today as a grandparent with 4 young children and a 5th on the way. And I've seized this opportunity to speak about their future, a future far less rich in biodiversity and natural abundance than when I was a child. My generation and the boomers who followed have lived like kings and queens and thoughtlessly partied as if there's no tomorrow. We forgot the lessons taught to us by our parents and grandparents who came through the Great Depression. Live within your means. Save some for tomorrow. Satisfy your needs, not your wants. Help your neighbors, because someday they will help you. Share, don't be greedy. Money doesn't make you a better person or more important person. Well, the party's over. We've got to remember those old aphorisms, clean up our mess, and start thinking about our grandchildren. I'm a scientist, and what we do is to probe the mysteries of the cosmos, to uncover laws and principles that explains what's going on in the world and how we can live within it. Physics tells us we can't build a rocket that will travel faster than the speed of light. I know it's CERN, they're saying maybe 6 kilometers faster than the speed.